Hey again, it's Camille.
And Luke.
And we are back to talk about the final phase of the design thinking process, test. So we have learned about our users. We have defined a specific problem. We have generated a bunch of ideas. We built a prototype of one of our ideas. And now we're going to go out into the field and test it with the users that we empathize with in the very starting place. So for this example, we're going to be testing out a prototype for a brainstorming kit. So the problem we're approaching is how can we help organizations to be more creative? And the idea that we want to test is why don't we give them a kit? So Luke is going to play the part of my fearless user. I'm going to go and meet him at his workspace and give him this kit, and we'll see what happens.
Come in.
Hi. Hey, how are you? It was so great to see you again. We developed something, and I wanted to have you take a spin and just see what you think of it.
Okay, great. This is for me to help me to come up with new ideas.
Well, what does it look like it's for?
Yeah. It has lots of markers. That's great. Mm-hmm. What's this do? Oh. Okay. Yeah. Sprayed myself in the eye. And okay, so I can draw pictures with this. Ooh, okay.
What do you think? What were you trying to achieve there? You were opening it up, and what were you trying to understand about that?
I was just wondering what it smelled like.
Okay.
I guess I could. Okay, what's in here? This box here. Okay. Okay. Yep. These things are kind of sticky. All right. Let's see this. So this one.
And what are you doing now?
It's just going to draw some happy little clouds.
Is that something that you like to do often?
That marker's not working. Yeah, I like to draw happy little clouds.
And why is that important to you?
It just makes me feel peaceful. Yeah, it makes me feel peaceful. It's not really working. Some of these markers aren't working.
Oh, what's the writing that's on? I noticed there's some writing on the side of that one. Did you happen to notice that at all?
Yeah, it says Expo. Okay.
What else does it say there?
Wet erase. Okay, so maybe I can. Okay. I can maybe do this. Oh yeah, that's really interesting. Okay, great.
Okay. And then, was that something that you'd seen, or I just pointed out the text and?
Yeah, no, I've seen it. Yeah, and now I remember how these markers work. Right. Okay. That's very cool. Yeah, I could definitely use these for sure. Okay. Some of them. I mean, some of them were kind of dry, but.
Great. Now, where do you think you would go with this next? So you've just opened it up, experimented with some of the materials. What do you think you could use this for, if at all?
I mean, if it was, if the markers worked and they weren't so stinky, I could imagine using this in my office with my team to help come up with new ideas. It definitely needs a little work, but I do like the idea. I mean, there's a lot in here I like. I mean, I like the Post-its. I would want more Post-its with different colors, but yeah, I can definitely see the value. And yeah.
And what would the colors do for you?
Because then I could have each color could represent a different kind of category of ideas or different things that we're working on. So I could have categories rather than just one,
Great.
One color.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thanks for taking a look at this.
Yeah,
now, I'd love you to keep it for a week, and if you find a use for it, you want to test it out with your team, maybe, like you said, you might use it. I'd love to get your feedback, and I'll call you back in a couple of days and see how it's going.
Yeah, that's fine.
Great. Thanks. All right, so that's a little example, and there. Some of the skills that I was using was I was mostly observing him, right? I was just watching it unfold. I didn't interfere at all as things started falling out or he was misunderstanding how to use something. If it had been something dangerous, I would have, from an ethical perspective, protected his eyeballs. But I knew that it was water and it was fine. And I also, I just wasn't trying to guide him too much. However, I noticed that he missed that detail about it being a wet erase marker, and I really wanted to see what it was going to be like when he tested that one out. So I decided, okay, I've given him some space to see if he can figure it out on his own or if he's interested, and he wasn't. So I decided to just subtly direct his attention there by seeing if he happened to notice the writing on the side there. I wasn't trying to specifically ask him if he liked it or if he didn't. On his own, he told me that some things were useful, some things weren't. And usually users will kind of do that. They'll give you some feedback easily. Now, had he been a bit more quiet, I could have asked even more questions.
Yeah. And so you notice this tool is a lot different than something like collecting a survey. This is really based in the direct observation, the ability to understand the context, the ability to follow up. It's one thing to send out a survey digitally, even if we're asking more open-ended narrative questions digitally. It's much different than what we've done here, which is live, interactive, in person-to-person experimenting with whatever it is that we're offering.
And it's done in his own context, right? So he's actually at work, and that's a good place for me to test it. Lastly, this is very, very different from market research or, seeing if he gets satisfaction, if he likes this, if he's the right user for this, or how he would rate it. Really, I'm here to learn just as much as I was in the empathy phase, because remember, design thinking is iterative. So I'm here with a very much a beginner's mind, trying to see what else can I understand about Luke and his environment and what he cares about, and this problem space by seeing how he interacts with this. So I did learn some new things to bring home, like he wants to have multiple colors of Post-its. In my next iteration of this, I'll definitely take that feedback to heart, especially if I hear it from multiple users. So it's all about learning, and this is the final step. Of course, you're never done. It's always time to iterate in design thinking, and I hope that you go out into the field and get your hands dirty.